My movie review is on Donnie Darko. This was easily one of my most favorite movies we watched this quarter, and probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Um, this film was made in 2001, and it was written and directed by Richard Kelly. Some of the famous stars include Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal, brother and sister in the movie and real life, Drew Barrymore, and Patrick Swayze. This film is an intense sci-fi drama in which Jake Gyllenhaal is a disturbed teenager who is contacted by a bunny man in his dreams, telling him that the world will end in 28 days. Following this immediately, an airplane engine crashes through his house, nearly killing his whole family. Um, Donnie starts to see Frank more, and Frank starts to control Donnie, telling him to do terrible and horrible things like burning down a house and flooding his school and putting an axe through their school's mascot. All of these horrible things start to have an impact on Donnie's life, and his friends and family start to realize that they may be negative for him. They send him to a therapist. It makes him have trouble in school. But what we start to realize is some of Frank's actions may not be completely negative. Um, Throughout the film, we realize that Frank may be doing this to try and save someone, maybe save Donnie, maybe save himself. We don't really know yet. But as we continue on, we realize that Frank's actions are done to try and save the life of Gretchen and Frank, because Donnie ends up killing the real life version of Frank in the end, after Frank running over Gretchen. Donnie turns around and shoots Frank in the eye. Now, what's kind of coincidental about that is earlier in the scene when Donnie was meeting with the imaginary friend Frank, Frank presented a force field showing that they're in between the two worlds. Donnie tried to break through this force field with a knife, stabbing him right in the eye. The same spot where Donnie ended up shooting him later in the film, killing him, the real life version. Some people like to think that this is part of one of the themes of the movie where um, that Frank comes to Donnie trying to warn him of what Donnie's going to do to him. And he travels back in time to try and save his life and save Gretchen's. There's a lot of different ideas behind what this movie is really about. But I like to think that that it is about time travel, because time travel is fun to think about, and that part of this movie is that Donnie has to take the decision of whether or not he's going to travel back in time, killing himself so that he will save his friend Frank and now his girlfriend Gretchen, who was ran over by the real version of Frank. Um, some other actions that Frank does that we start to realize why he may not be all bad is when Donnie burns down Jim Cunningham's house, a local celebrity for motivational speakers. That we find a kitty dungeon in the kitty porn dungeon in his house. Well, the firefighters find it, and they find out that Jim Cunningham is really not a good man, but a pedophile and needs to be put behind bars. Something that Donnie does to help the local community as well. Um, they, there's a lot of different opinions about what this movie means. Um, I like to leave that up to you. I like to let you kind of think about it. Um, it's definitely about Donnie's struggle, what he needs to do, whether or not he's going to save Gretchen's life or Frank's life, or he's going to just leave this whole thing. But Donnie believes that he must do something about this whole situation because he has this potential for time travel. I really think that you guys would enjoy this film. It's one of my favorites, and thanks for watching.